Do you have this idea about selling that it's just sleazy or unspiritual, and so it turns you off from the idea of doing it for yourself and your business? Well, how about if we give you a more friendly perspective on what selling is? I'm Loralee Humpherys, and in this episode of Faces of Freedom TV, I will be offering you a more friendly, easy to adopt perspective about what selling actually is. So you're going to want to stick around and hear me out, because by adopting a different perspective on selling that's more successful and expanding for you, then that goes a long way in supporting you and creating the life that you love through a home business lifestyle. So I know a lot of us have been raised with the experience as well as the perception that sales equals a sleazy, slimy used car salesman, or this hardcore person that wants to go shove something down your throat that you don't even need. They're just going out to make a sale regardless of who you are, and they don't really care about knowing who you are. They just want to make a sale. So we've all experienced that, and it is a huge turnoff. So I get it. I've experienced it too. And so when we go to start our business or even expand our business, this old programming comes up about what we have experienced selling to be. And it's a turnoff because we don't want to be seen or associated with the idea of being a sleazy, slimy, hardcore salesperson that just irritates people and is rather obnoxious, and it's just very rough around the edges. So let's look at that, unravel it, and replace it with something more functional, shall we? So when I was looking at this and really wrapping my brain around a new perspective of selling so that I could do it better and feel more comfortable with it, then what I recognized was that the whole idea of why people push and push and push, number one, it's a very masculine or yang way of thinking and operating, which for a lot of women who are very much more feminine in nature, it's contrary, goes against the grain of everything for our beingness. And with the idea of you have to just push and shove a sale down someone's throat, it's all about the win, like win and lose situations, or almost like going in for the kill. It's very aggressive, almost like warlike. And that doesn't feel good, number one, and number two, it just simply doesn't work for people, as you've probably experienced it. And what I've realized is underlying that behavior of aggression is really a belief system, a perspective of lack and limitation, of scarcity, that there's only so much to go around, there's only so much goodness or abundance in the world, and therefore you better grab it up and beat everyone to it. It's kind of like you're starving and somebody throws you some breadcrumbs or a dish of really good food, and so you scramble and push someone out of the way so that you can get the most. And when you also look at this, then it's also a very childlike level mentality of scarcity, of lack, of poverty, that there's not enough to go around, and so it threatens your very survival. So to me, that's what's beneath all of that deep mindset and behavior of you have to win at everyone else's expense and shove things down other people's throats so that you can be first, so that you can be the top of the hill. So let's turn this around and really look at what works, how people actually function. And it actually goes back to some perspectives and ways that people did things a long time ago, like as in thousands of years ago, before the rise of the dominant patriarchal structure of how our society is built. And that was all about collaboration, community, communication, working together, and being in a cooperative thing, knowing that there's plenty to go around. So that whole idea of collaboration, cooperation, community, communication is what has come back around in the last several years and is gaining more and more momentum or popularity because it's what works. It's what people want. It's what they respond to. And to me, that whole perspective is also rooted in the core belief that there's plenty, that the earth provides, which is actually the truth of what is. When you look at our physical circumstances, our physical sustenance and well-being, everything in your environment at some point came from the earth. Whether it's your furniture, the bricks, the mortar, the concrete that your home is built on, the fabrics, the things, the clothes that you wear, the food that you eat, the things that create the cosmetics and everything that you put on to make yourself beautiful, everything comes to us from the earth that sustains our physical life. So why would there be any scarcity in any of that? There's not. It's just recognizing the truth, going back to the underlying truth of what actually sustains us in this physical world, of returning to connection with the earth and rooting yourself in that mindset, so that when you go about sharing and talking and connecting with other people and building your network, you're coming from an entirely different perspective, different energy, different mindset. And so you're likewise going to attract people who resonate with that mindset too. And so your reality totally shifts. So I'd like you to just think about that, of how you can steep yourself more deeply into this idea that everything is taken care of, there's abundance for all, that the earth makes no lacking situation anywhere. If anything, the sense of lack and limitation and scarcity that we experience, it's artificial, it's man-made. It's a result of the type of structures of society that we've been living under for so long, literally thousands of years, that people really don't even know that anything else is possible. And when you look at, again, the distribution systems that we have for food, for clothing, for money, it's all constructed by people. And at the very top of all those structures, especially like the banking, the financial, political systems, they're all controlled by a group of men who want to maintain that control. So they manipulate it. Not saying it's all men, there's some women in there, but it's primarily male-dominated, patriarchal-dominated mindset, ways of doing things in accordance to that idea that there's scarcity, and so I better grab everything before somebody else does. That whole mindset is what the people at the top of our structure, societal structures, don't want to let go of, to recognize that there's something else. And so it trickles down through all of the different distribution channels and financial institutions of how things run in our society. And then that's what creates the sense of lack and limitation. In addition, when you are in a job that your income is dependent upon the employer, that in itself sets you up for a state of scarcity and limitation and lack. And so you're living in that whole mindset. Therefore, when you go out to step out of that to create your own business, to gain more sovereignty for yourself and your financial well-being, then it's easy to come up against these old ideas of scarcity and lack and limitation and how they present themselves or play out in your life through the idea of selling. So let's just scrap all of that and really focus on deleting that from your mind. Whenever it comes up, just say the words of cancel, clear, delete, and then replace it with, there's plenty to go around. There's abundance for all. So how do you create more of that abundance so that you can have an easier time selling? Well, it's through relationship. It's through community, communication, collaboration, working together with other people, which is how people in business have always been done. It's always worked that way. The more people you can help and uplift and serve, the more abundance you can open yourself up to experience in your life. So when you're building those relationships, that network of people that like you, that know you and trust you, it's very easy to just point and say, this is what I do. This is what I offer. This is a solution that I can provide you so that you can get out of your pain and your stress and discomfort situation in your life. So when you can do it that way, it's not about selling at all. It's really about creating relationships, providing solutions, and then people sell themselves. So as I do with all of my videos, then I encourage you and invite you to download this week's resource guide, which is 7 reasons why you need recurring income into your life. And this too can really support you in getting beyond the sense of scarcity or lack of this mindset, so that you can really root yourself into the idea and the mindset that there is abundance and plenty for all, that the earth and nature provides for us abundantly. There's an abundance of people to talk to. There's an abundance of people to create a network around so that you can share your services with them to help and uplift them. And so then it becomes just an easy flowing collaborative relationship, and people naturally gravitate towards you because they know, like, and trust you, and they know that you're legitimate. They know that you're not going to shove something down their throat that they don't need and try and be this pushy, aggressive salesperson that just feels gross for everyone. So again, grab my download. If you'd like to know a little bit more about how I do this or how I build my network and my relationship buildings, then I encourage you to contact me. A lot of what I'm teaching here is according to the principles of attraction marketing, which is all about creating the network, creating collaboration, community, and trust with people. So if you like what you see, I encourage you to contact me and let's communicate, let's connect more. Also, grab my resource download guide, the 7 reasons why you need recurring income into your life so that you can create greater abundance and a business that you love. All right, so did you get value from this? What do you think about selling? What kind of perspectives have you eliminated from your life as well as adopted? How do you go about creating greater relationships with people so that you can share what you have to offer with them? So leave a comment below, subscribe to this channel, Faces of Freedom TV, and also share this video. As you know, each week I give you tips and resources that you can use into your life to help you create a life that you love through a home business lifestyle. You can also find me on my website, LoraleeHumpherys.com, and also on Facebook under my name, Loralee Humpherys. So until then, create a beautiful, bounteous, abundant, and prosperous week.